Hey, well, it's finally here. The Hasbro HasLab Proton pack has finally arrived. As you can see, it's gigantic. It also comes in weighing around, I think, 20 pounds. So it's going to be hard to give you guys some 360 shots of this thing, but we could just start by taking a look at this box. So it comes in this great, like, crate aesthetic here. You can see with the caution tape on. Kind of mirrors the box from the Neutrona wand. Very similar style. It's also got that tape on it across the front, and it has the buckle here with the little Ghostbusters emblem. So very similar. This one looks a little bit different, a little bit more higher quality detail on the box. Obviously, it costs a lot more, but they went for a very similar aesthetic to keep it in sync there. So you can see here it has handles on the side. I mean, it looks like a steamer trunk. It's got all the markings of it, and then it's got the Ghostbuster marking on there as well. So a lot of nice detail on that box. I always appreciate when someone spends a little bit of energy to make the box look just as nice as the product. And it's got this like thumbprint sensor on the front. I thought that was pretty fun too. But enough about the box. We really want to see what's inside, so let's check it out. Okay, so our box here opens like any other steamer trunk, except there's no physical latches on it. It's just going to come straight up here. And on the inside, you'll see the flap, the Ghostbusters emblem there. And then on top, you got this little wooden cutout top here. Now, you start with this nice little packet. It's all sealed here. And we crack into that. And I suspect it's going to have the little warning sheets, but instructions, which are laid out like a blueprint. So that's pretty cool. Take a look at those in a second. We have some of the stickers. These were the stretch awards coming in for hitting certain tiers in the funding. We have the labels. These are supposed to be the 1984 labels if you wanted to change your pack up. Although I think the pack is so completely different that the stickers aren't going to make it a 1984 pack. And then, of course, the Egon Spengler journal that is included as well. It's just got a bunch of little writings and drawings and notes on ghosts. It's pretty cool, and then all the way up to the current film. So that's pretty neat that they included this. This was a fun little stretch award, but that's really it there. So setting all these aside, you'll notice at the top this funky little arrow here that shows a slide, and if you actually do that, it releases this section, and underneath this section we have two additional little packages. Up here it kind of looks like a trap. We'll take that one out here, and then we have this other handle with extreme care box here. So why don't we take a look at what's inside these next. Alright, so I wanted to create a little room here so to show you guys these a little bit better. So we're going to check out the phantasmical samples here in this box. So nothing additional there, just this one package. I have no idea what this is. Let's take a look. Alright, so these are one of the stretch goals. It was this goopy marshmallow goo that you could put on the pack. And this just kind of creates a little fun, I got covered in marshmallow goo effect, a la the end of Ghostbusters, or through Ghostbusters Afterlife. Either one is kind of fun, so these are just little flexible bits. Now, if you were a HasLab backer and also a Pulse member, you got an additional green one that was slime. I did not get that one. I didn't back it in time to get to qualify for that one, so that was my bad. That would have been cool, but there is a transparent green slime one you get as well. The next part we have here is this trap. So cracking this open, I think these are going to be our little mini Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Now that's kind of cool that they packaged it in a trap like they were caught. They could have just as easily put it in a nondescript box or in a baggie, but they packaged it in a trap, and I think that's pretty cool. So let's check out these guys. Now this one is just all burnt up. Now these are very similar, I think, to the other ones you can see over my shoulder here. Here's the one with the same face So you could just see it's the same sort of character, the arms, hands, everything. They just have these burnt paint applications on them from toasting a little bit. So it's a little bit fun. Let's see what else we got here. It's another guy. Yep, it's another guy also burnt. And one more. So it's basically like the 3 packs you got, but these are burnt versions of them. And then they come with additional heads. So it should be all 6 heads are included with this set, just like they were with the original set. So it's basically the other ones, just a burnt paint deco on them. Would have been nice to get a melting one, or one impaled, like we saw in that scene in the Walmart. But that's basically what you're getting here. It's just these guys with a different paint aesthetic on the faces, on the torsos, and on the legs in some cases here. So this was, again, this was a stretch goal. This was not part of the initial plan package, but you just got this fun little bonus. So I think it's a nice little bonus to add to your pack experience or your pack decor between the marshmallow goo and then these guys. So just little add-ons, but let's get to the main show now. All right, well, instead of doing a time lapse of opening the pack and assembling the stand, just skip right to it. At the bottom of the box, you have the Egon Spengler stand here. That was another stretch goal. This thing is plastic, not metal. Thought it was going to be metal, a little disappointed, but it still holds the pack really well, as you can see here. And then, of course, the pack itself. Very excited about this. Taking a look at it, a lot of great detail. The ion arm actually came separate from the rest of the pack, and I think that was just designed in shipping so that you didn't break it when it was shipping. So you just essentially pop it right on here. And this is real metal, so this shouldn't snap like if it was plastic or printed. So really great that they included that. Has a little odd feature on the side here. This little part of the pack opens up and just comes down like that. No additional option there, but I think you could store something like a little mini storage on the side here. So you could put put your keys in or whatever if you're out ghost busting. So it's a neat little storage side. Then again, you see all this great detail here. This thing is a bit of an energy beast. It took 4 D batteries. I would have preferred if they just did a rechargeable battery if they were going to take that much energy out of it. But you know, in the back here is just a panel, and you got the 4 D batteries. And then we're turning this guy on. I think the switch right here. So it's definitely vibrating here. A lot of sounds. The crank knob actually has a function. You can make it louder, or you can make it quieter, depending on what you prefer. So that's kind of cool that they made the crank knob functional. And of course, this little portion of it turns as well. So really neat. So they captured all the detail of the pack here, as we see in Afterlife. I'm going to turn this off so you can hear me better. Here we go. So they captured all the detail, as we've seen in Afterlife. That was kind of on a lot of the packs over the years, the 84 and the 89 pack. This looks more like a continuation or an evolution of the 89 pack. I mean, it's got the little extra stickers here. The bellows has a screw on the front. The 84 didn't have the screw on the front. The handle, the crank knob is black. The 84 was gray. The strip here is a spectral strip, and the original, it was more of a not so much a spectral strip, it was more of a ribbon. So it had a couple colors and then a clear bit. So completely different there. This yellow line wasn't on any of them on the 84 or the 89 pack. And then these little bits here were new to the Afterlife pack. So I know they give you the option of turning to an 84 sound, a classic sound mode, but it's not an 84 pack. It's got a lot of differences to it, so you can't really capture that without a lot of modification to it, and I wouldn't. I mean, I would just make this an Afterlife pack. It's great. It's got all that detail. They had the film prop to work with, so I trust them on that. So, I mean, there's other differences, but those are the main ones I'm just going to point out here. So after all that, you saw the sound function. So now it's what you could do on the inside here. So as you're seeing the blueprint instructions, you could remove the elbow here that's over the Proton pack. Maybe with a, I'm sorry, first you got to take out the bellows. So you just untwist this. Oop. Move this out. Then this should come out. Yep, this pops out right here. Now you got to take off a couple other things here. The cable on the side. So like Phoebe was working on it in the movie, you could work on it here too. This comes out here, and this detaches here, I believe. Or maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but let's see. No, we'll just leave it attached here. Let it dangle for a second. So you can see all the little cyclotrons and all the parts here. I think these, these twist out. So if you want to pretend like you're repairing it, you could twist these out and then, of course, twist them back in if you wanted to add it or remove it. So those are there. And then you can take out this central unit here. Again, this is gonna, I think there's a part, everything twists. So you can take this out here, pop that out, so you can see all that great detail in there. Was all part of the pack. So that's pretty cool. They let you take it all the way down to the internal components here. If you wanted to pretend you were fixing it up or adding to it, a little customization there. I think that's pretty neat. So this is what's really important here are these switches. Now, the switches on the inside allow you to change between the modes, as you're seeing the blueprints here. So basically, the one on the left here controls the motor. So you can turn the motor on and off, and on the one on the right here is the afterlife or the classic mode. So it's default in afterlife mode. If you want a classic mode, you just throw it down. You get that little response from the feedback from the system here. There we go. Motor off, motor on. So if we turn the motor off, we turn this thing on here, nothing happens. So I guess you'd have to, okay, it won't, I guess it won't turn on if you have the panel on here. Maybe these little metal sensors, you can feel the connection and then keep it from turning on. So the motor might just shut off the vibration. So there's another option there if you wanted to do that. So that's pretty neat. But yeah, that's the extent of what you could do on the inside here. You could also remove the ribbon cable if you wanted to pop this out. I don't see any reason to do that. I guess if you wanted to modify it, but you don't need to take the ribbon cable off in order to get to this bit. So I'm not gonna fuss around with it. I think that's just another potential place where something could break. But yeah, that is essentially the inside of the unit. What else was included in that little Spangler cardboard box were the clips here to attach to the Alice frame. If you've been watching the other videos in the series, I showed you guys the different kinds of Alice frames for the different kinds of packs. This one has a unique LC1 Alice frame pack that was different from the prior movies. So I will attach it so you guys can see what that looks like as well. And then also the other included item was the hose, so we can connect it to our Neutrona wand. So I'll be doing that as well. This looks pretty great. And this plugs into the Neutrona wand itself. It's got this nice little extension, so we'll see how this works. Now, they say that the wand can control the pack, and I've seen it demonstrated, so we'll test that out and see how that works. But right now, why don't I connect this to the Alice frame and then show you guys how that looks. All right, well, for efficiency's sake, I got it on the Alice frame here, and I'll show you what the connection process is in a second. I wanted to show you this little orange tip is also included. The earlier versions of the Neutrona wand were considered collectibles and not role-playing, so they didn't have the orange tips. The newer versions do, so they just gave this to you so you can include it on here for when you go out to cosplay at a convention or something, or, of course, if you had the older version, you don't need to include it. So as you can see, the Proton pack here is up on the Alice frame, but first I wanted to show you an additional feature. I didn't realize it, but with the ribbon cable here, I'll lower the volume a little bit, but if you push it here to pop it out, it goes into a little distress mode, and you can hear it in an alarm mode. That's pretty cool. That's a little additional fun feature. And then of course, if you put it back in, it should go back to functioning as normal. So that's kind of cool that they included it. It's a neat little additional feature. Not a lot of people will see that on a Proton pack. I don't think I've ever seen a custom one made that way. Of course, you could turn off the vibration like I showed you on the inside with the motor if you want to take that out. But really quick, as you can see, it still fits in the holder here, even with the Alice pack frame on it. but I'll show you how it connects here on the back. Now, I had another segment where I talked about Alice pack frames, so if you guys want to see how to set this up, I'll have a link in the video to the article I did on the kinds of Alice pack frames for the different kinds of packs. This one, of course, was for the Ghostbusters Afterlife pack. You could get this one on Amazon. You could get it on gbfans.com. It comes with the proper straps already, so you don't need to worry about shopping around for those. But the only thing you'll have to do besides put the straps on is get this neck padding. I showed you how to do that. It's basically 2 stages. One stage is just some 3/4, I believe, or 1/2-inch pipe, it'd be in the article, from Home Depot or something like that. You just put on the inside. And then you need this neoprene cover. Now that you have to special order. You're not going to find that at the hardware store. You have to cut it to size, and then I use some spray adhesive to get it to stick, otherwise it'll keep opening on you. And that will fit on there nice and neat and have that look as you see in the movie. So again, I'll have a link to that article if you guys want to see how to do this. There's other sites out there that also show you how to make this neck padding on here. But this is the Alice pack frame. Huge upgrade from the standard straps that just came with the HasLab one that were coming off this plastic motherboard. So I highly, highly recommend it. It's probably going to run you about another $70 for this Alice pack frame. But it's this nice metal frame. It adds a whole nother dimension to the Proton pack as opposed to just having the motherboard straps come out. And you're going to get this hardware in here, as you can see right here, in order to connect it. Now, these are just going to be easy to put on. It comes with the little screws. So you start with the small one up top, the medium-sized one in the middle, and the larger one at the bottom. And that will get you the frame on the central part here. And then on the sides, you're going to have these 2 very similar sized clips here. And they just go on this way to get the horizontal access. So you have your horizontal and your vertical axis. And then at the bottom, you'll see the spacers, and they just go at the bottom of the frame, and the screws go right in here at the bottom of the screw frame. But that's really it. Really easy to do. Large, middle, tiny, and then the matching sizes on the side, and then the 2 with the spacers at the bottom. The screw holes are already there, so you kind of have to line them up. It's not hard to do. You can't really miss it. So they made it really easy for anyone to do this. There was no instruction that I saw in the box. You kind of have to just figure it out, unless I missed where the instructions are. But again, I think it's a huge improvement to include the Alice pack frame with this, instead of just doing it with the standard motherboard straps that are included. The last thing to do would be to hook this up to the Neutrona wand that I have here on the pack already. It comes with the hose. And this was an add-on. I think this is an essential. This is kind of weird that they decided to make this the stretch goal. I mean, there's no real point of having this pack if it's not going to connect with the hose here. So this basically just goes in the side here. I might do an edit cut just because I'm going to have to fondle with it here. And then it's going to go on the top. And then I'll start testing it out to show you how you can turn the pack on and off with the Neutrona wand. And that should cover it. All right, get our wand connected. Took a little bit of effort, but not too difficult. It's going to just plug in here. There's a little metal connection. There's only one way to do it. There'd be a little divot, so you can't just arrange it any way you want. So once you twist that in, you see you can still display it on the stand, which is great because you want to be able to keep the wand in. You don't want to have to unplug that every single time. So there's clearance here. It's not touching or rubbing, so it's really nice. The other way to go, if you don't have the stand, which you should because it will compact in it, is just a guitar stand. It's a great way to hold the pack while still being able to have the hose on. I'll do that with my custom pack as well. The other connection here is going to be at the top, and you're actually removing the battery compartment, which is great because you don't have to change the batteries on the wand now, just the pack. So the 4D battery payoff is that it also powers the wand, and it has that electrical connection, so that way you can turn the pack on and off with the wand as advertised as well. So why don't we try that on now? I'm just reaching over here to turn on the pack. Now I turned off the motor rumble so you could hear me a little bit better. That was getting a little bit annoying. So it's nice that they give you the option of being able to shut that off while still maintaining the sounds. So we pop our wand off here. It has the A slide on the frame there. And then we can just turn on our wand. And then we'll extend our, there we go. And then, okay. So I should be able to then fire it. And then if I shut it off, it is not doing anything. Oh, there it goes. Just a little second delay. But it does indeed turn off the pack. Let's see what happens when we turns on the cyclotron. Everything's working just like it should. Pretty cool. Of course. Raising the intensity on the wand doesn't do anything with the pack, but let's see if that triggers the pack to shut down. No, you got to shut the whole blaster off in order to get the pack to turn off. But it does work, which is really great. You could have the whole pack functioning, and of course you get this A-clip system, which is always a struggle for me. You always kind of have to like take the pack halfway off in order to get it on there when you're on an A-frame, or you could have a fellow Ghostbuster pop it on for you. But that is the function of the Neutrona wand to the pack. Everything works. It should. It was all designed together, so they had time to get that together. So that's a pretty cool feature that they let you turn the pack on and off with the Neutrona wand. But of course, you could always just come back here and switch it off yourself. Better if you can see it. But it has this nice red switch on there. It really captures the look of the film. I think they did a really great job with all these details on it. And they have the wearing on the painting and all that. But like I said, it's kind of hard for me to give you a 360, but there's nothing on the back. It's just the motherboard. So it's basically what you see here is the pack. So they have all that great detailing on the wiring, on the ion arm, on the stickers, on the spectral ribbon, on the bellows. Everything has really great detailing. And they captured, I think, all the aspects of the look of the pack. And they had the prop to do that. So I think that worked really well. Aiming for the Afterlife pack and not the 84 pack. It would have been more difficult to track that down. Hopefully they do something like that in the future. This thing's like, it backed almost instantly. So, you know, something to consider if Hasbro does that in the future, does an 84 pack, that'd be awesome. There's not a lot of those. Most packs you see on Etsy or somewhere are 89 packs, even though they say they're 84 packs. But yeah, it'd be cool to get that again. I love the metal detailing they got on this. The clipper here, this is metallic. Of course, the A clip, that's metallic. The ion arm is metallic. The bellows here is plastic. But I think they put a lot of nice metal details where they needed to make this to feel a little bit more premium. And I mean, it was designed for backers, so this isn't an off-the-shelf kind of thing. So I appreciate that little extra bit of detailing they did on it. But again, 100% recommend getting the Alice frame. They included the clips, which was great because they knew, you know, true fans are going to want to put it on an Alice frame. The motherboard does not do it justice. I mean, it'll hold it on your back, but it does not give it the look it deserves to have with that Alice back frame system. I told you guys about it a couple months ago. Hopefully they're still around. I think you should be able to grab some. I saw some in stock on some sites, but they'll probably start selling out now that people are getting their packs and they want to add this feature to it. So pick one of these up. Like I said, about $60, $70. Totally worth it. You can get the foam padding from Home Depot for like $3 and for 10 feet and just cut what you need. And the other padding, that Nia frame topping, I think it was around $11 or $15 per unit. And you can have those shipped to you. So I'll have a link for all those if you want to deck it out just like it looks in the movie. But that's essentially the pack. This thing is amazing. Hopefully you ordered it when you did, because I bet on the secondary market you're going to end up paying easily over $1,000 for this. So right now, if you got it, I think it was $400 to back it, and it came with all this stuff. Really great. Get the Neutrona wand. It's going to be hard to find the original one now. I think they're only shipping the ones with the orange tips on them, but you can still find some of them. Some people have said they ordered the new one and ended up getting the old one. If you ordered it from a fan channel like Big Bad Toy Store or Entertainment Earth, they just gave you whatever stock they had. So they were probably clearing out their older stock before the new ones came in. I don't know if that's still the case because that was a couple months ago, but you can still get this one with the orange tip. And what you're going to need if you're going to be wearing it in a cosplay situation anyway, if you're bringing it to a con, you're going to need that orange tip on it. But if you had the original one, I love this look. It just looks better. I'm a bigger fan of the authentic look. And then it's nice to have that orange tip included for people who don't have that model. So that is the pack. It's amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed this segment. I hope you found it informational or useful. I don't think there's a whole lot of instructional videos right now on how to attach it to the frame. So hopefully this adds to or lessens your woes when you're trying to figure it out, because they didn't include any instructions. But like I showed you, it's kind of intuitive. It's not too difficult to put together, and it's totally worth it to put that on the frame, the Alice Pack frame. So that's all for this special Ghostbusters segment. We'll get back to our normal segments starting next week on Ninja Turtles and everything else. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, and follow, and we will see you guys next time.